Hello my fellow weirdos, my name is Marie McWilliams and welcome back to my channel. For today's video we are going to be counting down 10 perfect wintry horror reads. Something that you can tuck into under a blanket in the safety of your own home while God knows what is stalking you in the snow outside. I love horror. Before we jump in, I want to thank the wonderful Mother Horror, aka Sadie Hartman, and Kealan Burke, a really great author whose one of his books is actually on this list, for helping me compile the list and come up with the top 10 winter horror reads. So thanks guys. I will put the links down to their Instagram below, but let's just jump into it. At number 10 we have The Shining by Stephen King. Now this is one of the ultimate wintry horror books of all time. It takes place way up in the mountains where the Torrance family move into the Overlook Hotel, which during winter months is completely snowed in and isolated from any help or the outside world. You're totally cut off, and that could be scary in of itself, but when you throw in a bunch of scary evil ghosts, it really ratchets the horror up a notch. It's a great read, one of Stephen King's best. Definitely give it a go. At number 9 we have Dead Winter by Kealan Burke. This is a fantastic collection of short stories, all centered around the theme of winter, and Kealan really plays on the kind of loneliness that we feel during that particular time of year. I can't recommend it enough. Definitely a great read, and if you're in a reading slump, which can happen in the winter, I always think that a collection of short stories is a great way to get yourself out of that. So yeah, there's that bonus as well. At number 8 we have Mary Shelley's fantastic legendary horror Frankenstein. If you haven't read Frankenstein, then what is wrong with you? Seriously, get on it. It is a fantastic book and a really great example of Gothic literature. But as we all know, it's about Dr. Frankenstein and his monster. A large chunk of the book takes place in the snowy Arctic, where Dr. Frankenstein is kind of wandering all lost and bemused and upset at the loss of his love. And it is just filled with great wintry Gothic horror. Read it immediately. At number 7 we have another Stephen King. This one is Misery. This is actually the first Stephen King that I ever read when I was a kid, and it is a classic. We have an author who in the snow has a car accident and is saved by his biggest fan. Yay, happy story. Well, not exactly, because his biggest fan happens to be a complete and utter psychopath who is totally unhappy with the fact that he is about to kill off her favourite character. Cue the carnage. This is a really great novel by Stephen King because it shows that he doesn't need there to be any paranormal ghosts or monsters or killer clowns for you to be afraid. This is just a terrifying human being in terrifying circumstances, and it is genuinely spooky. Definitely give it a read. Next up we have Bone White by Ronald Malfi. This is about a serial killer operating in a very remote town in Alaska, and he keeps killing his victims and then drawing the police over to find the bodies. Murder mysteries and crime novels are always a great read in winter, I think, but when you throw this in with the snow and the fact that it's remote, cut off, isolated, and that the serial killer seems to be playing a game with the authorities, it's got a lot of wonderful wintry spooky goodness. Next we have, and I apologise in advance because I cannot pronounce foreign names, I'm so sorry. It's Let the Right One In by John Ajvide Lindqvist. I'm so sorry. I apologise to all of his fans. It's Let the Right One In by John. I'm sure you guys are already familiar with this because there's already been 2 movie adaptations. Please watch the foreign one, not the American one. It's much better. But this is basically about the relationship between a young 12-year-old boy and a century-old vampire. It is set in wintry Russia, and it is a wonderful, fantastic read, and as I said, has a really great movie adaptation. The American one's it's not bad, to be fair. It's just not as good. On that note, what is with them doing American remakes of foreign films? Like, stop it, okay? The first one was good, leave it alone. Okay, moving on, we have The Hunger by Alma Katsu. This isn't one that I had personally read and was recommended to me by Kealan, and I have immediately went on and bought it from Amazon because it sounds amazing. It is a fictionalized version of what happened to the tragic Donner Party. If you're unfamiliar with that, they were Western frontiers in a wagon train who basically left at the wrong time and ended up in a snowstorm, completely cut off and unable to move forward. And they were forced to, in order to survive, to cannibalize the dead. And a couple of people actually ended up getting murdered and eaten as well. They are mentioned in The Shining, so bonus points. It's all come back around. But this version hypothesizes if there was something else with them, something stalking them in the snow. Really cannot wait to read that. We have also got Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. This is about a family that move into a home where a century before a mother and daughter died in tragic circumstances. When the mother of this family goes missing, the eldest daughter finds the diary of one of the original family members and realizes that in order to find her mother and solve the mystery, she's going to have to try and look at what happened in the past as well. We have Stranded by Bracken MacLeod. This is about a large Arctic explorer vessel getting trapped in the ice in the Arctic Circle when a mysterious illness starts to ravage the crew and they're surrounded by this thick and ominous fog. Things start to take a bit of a dark turn. You have everything here, including a sort of, this is another one that I haven't read, by the way, that was recommended to me, but when I was reading about it, everyone in the review said that it had a really great ending. And basically when they are forced to leave the vessel in order to physically remove it from the ice, the fog clears and they see a sort of shadow in the distance, which might be their salvation or their doom. So another one that I have added to my list that I'm really looking forward to read. Thank you for the recommendation, guys. And then finally we have The Terror by Dan Simmons. This one will probably be more familiar for you guys because it has actually been recently turned into a television series. This is a fictionalized version of the historic party that went to the Arctic Circle in the HMS Erebus and Terror in order to find the Northwest Packet? That sounds like a terrible porn version. The Northwest Passage. I don't know what is wrong with me today. I'm so sorry. Anyway, basically we are following Sir John Franklin's mission that went, as we all know, very terribly wrong. In this circumstance, you've got everything to deal with, from cannibalism to madness to illness to the weather, the cold, mutiny, and to top it all off, there is something out there stalking the remaining members of the party. So there you have it, guys. That is my 10 spooky winter horror reads. I will put links to all of those books down below so you can go and buy any of the ones that you think sound particularly interesting. And let me know, guys, what books do you think are the perfect spooky winter read? Which ones remind you immediately of winter, of snow? What did you think of the books on my list? Have you read any of them? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button. Hit the bell button so that you get a notification every time I post new content. But now I have to go because I've forgotten how to speak. Bye!